is me. Terrible. Time for some Week 5 predictions. This is the Week 5 preview video. First week of bye weeks. Let's see who's out. I believe it's the Lions, the Titans, Eagles, and Chargers. No games this week, but that's okay. We still have plenty of football, starting with Thursday. The Buccaneers versus the Falcons. I gotta do better in this picks video. Last week was brutal, so I'm stepping up this week. I got this one. This one is in Atlanta, Georgia. Home one for the Falcons. It is -2 for the Falcons. We've seen the Falcons win 2 very close games. It is crazy how close the Falcons are to being 0-4. But they had 2 clutch wins. Gotta give it to them. The Buccaneers, yeah, they had a bad loss to the Broncos, but they've had 3 pretty good wins. Although I'd say last week, win over the Eagles is not too tough right now. They seem to have some problems there, but the point is, the Bucks are pretty hot, and I'm gonna pick them in this one. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that the line is -2 for the Falcons. It makes sense. It's all right. It's a home one, and it's a short week, but I think the Bucks come out cooking this week. They've looked solid, and I'm just afraid to pick against them with the offensive firepower that they have. So, and they might have, found something decent in the running game. Bucky Irving seems pretty solid too, and obviously Baker, Godwin, Evans, all these guys, they're just playing really good football. So I can't pick against them, especially since their defense has been good enough as well. So I got Buccaneers in this first Thursday night game. We head into Sunday. This is the first week of Sunday morning games thanks to London. I had to double check. I wasn't sure if it was a Germany game or a London game or a Brazil game. I don't know. It could be anywhere at this point, but we have a NFL London game, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. Jets versus the Vikings. At least they sent a decent matchup over. Although the Jets did not look good last week. They really struggled. If they had continued looking good on offense, I think I'd be leaning to pick them over the Vikings in this one. But the Vikings are they're hot. I don't want to pick against them till I feel like I have to, and I don't think the Jets are forcing my hand at all. So I gotta go with the Vikings in London, man. Sam Darnold, he's playing well, and he's got Justin Jefferson balling out. Even Addison came back last week and had 2 touchdowns. They got Aaron Jones too. They just look good, and the defense, thanks to Brian Flores, looks pretty solid. It's a lot of good stuff going on with the Vikings. It's very surprising, but at the same time, not so much. They got a lot of nice pieces there. So I got the Vikings over the Jets in London, and I got them going to 5-0. I do. Oh, here it is. The battle over the trade for the first round pick, for the first overall pick right here. Bears, Panthers. Oh boy, Panthers are in a weird spot, but with Andy Dalton, they've recovered a little bit. Deontay Johnson, of course. 2 weeks ago, I trashed Deontay Johnson. I said he sucked. I said he was bad, and he was finally being exposed for it. All of a sudden, he comes out. He has 2 pretty good weeks and looks good with Andy Dalton. And yeah, so of course, I trash talk somebody and they go off. It's how it is. So if I trash talk your team this week, you're lucky. They're about to have a pretty good week. But yeah, Panthers, Bears. It's in Chicago. -4 for the Bears. The offense is slowly getting there for them. Very slowly. But the defense has been holding up pretty strong. They're 2-2, despite the poor offensive play, and I gotta stick with them. I gotta stick with the Bears. I'm gonna pick the Bears here in this matchup, even though the Panthers have looked better the last 2 weeks. I gotta go with the Bears. I think Caleb will continue to play a little bit better here and there, and make some stuff happen. Panthers just don't have enough to have a lot of faith in them. Maybe a different matchup I have them, but home one for the Bears. I think they get that one. The next one, another divisional matchup. Well, the Falcons, Bucks is divisional, so another one, yep. We have the Ravens versus the Bengals. This one is in Cincinnati. So, home one for the Bengals, and it's -2.5 for Baltimore, so Ravens are now 2-2. Bengals finally got into the win column last week, and they're 1-3. I don't know. I'm going with the Ravens, but I'm very worried about this one. I think the Bengals, I didn't think they played crazy well last week against the Panthers, but oh man, I'm worried that they just, out of nowhere, they just look good in this one and are able to take the Ravens down, but we'll see. The Ravens, I don't know. I think both these teams are still playoff caliber teams. They just bit of a slow start early on here, but the Ravens, with Derrick Henry running the ball, ooh, man, he's dangerous. He is just dangerous, and they already were dangerous before him. So even with some of the offensive line issues, it doesn't matter. They got Henry. They're pretty good. So I don't think the Bengals defense has it. I think, 24 points to the Panthers, even though they have looked better the last 2 weeks. I just don't think the Bengals are going to stop the Ravens at all, and they're going to be able to get the job done pretty easily. But still worried. I'm still worried because, 1-3, the Bengals, they do not want to be 1-4, so they're going to be fighting. Like, this is a massive game for them already, and it's only week 5. But up next, Dolphins, Patriots. This one is another good divisional one. Man, this could be some wonderful football. I guess it's going to be Tyler Huntley again, and then Brissett should still be playing for the Patriots. Man, the Dolphins were awful on Monday night. I don't actually know if they could be that bad offensively again. I think they did have a drive at the end there where they actually looked good, took the ball to the field and scored. So maybe they'll look a little better this week. But I certainly hope not, because I'm going to pick the Patriots in this one. I think, I don't know. I'm worried about this one. I'm picking the Patriots, but I got the Dolphins. If they get anything going on offense, the Patriots defense, they're good. I don't know. They're starting to show their holes a little bit. The D-line is, without Judon, not as good, obviously. And then Christian Barmore isn't playing. It's just not quite the same D-line that was dominant last year. But we'll see. Maybe Keon White can get it going. But I do have the Pats in this one. I think they'll be able to do enough because, the Dolphins' defense is not very special. The Titans dominated them, so we'll see. But I do have the Pats getting the W in that one. Up next, we have the Browns versus the Commanders. And I'm sticking with the red-hot Commanders. They have been very good. Line is -3 for them, and it's also a home one. The Browns defense doesn't seem to be as good as last year, and the offense doesn't seem to have changed much, and they might be punting on this year. I mean, there's rumors of Amari Cooper being traded, possibly the Chiefs, possibly somewhere else, so who knows? They might be shipping him off to try to get some picks. He only has 1 year left on his deal. He's a little bit older for a receiver, and he hasn't been playing as well this year with this team, but probably because of who the QB is. But Browns are not good. They are not good this year. They could bounce back, but this is not going to be the week to do it. The Commanders are just, they're going to cool down a little bit at some point. This isn't the week. This is not the week. I got the Commanders getting this dub. I can't believe how well they are playing right now. You thought it would have taken a little bit more time for Daniels to develop, but he's ready to go. I mean, he played 5 years of college football, so maybe that helps. Maybe experience matters a lot. But yeah, got the Commanders there. And into the next one, another divisional matchup. Jaguars versus the Colts. Both these teams are in bit of a tough situation. This is going to be a home one for the Jags. -3 for the Jaguars. The Colts, is Richardson playing? Let's take a look. The Jags have looked awful this year. The Colts have looked pretty good with they've looked alright with Richardson, but they've looked alright without him as well. Okay, so he's questionable. So it's either going to be him or Joe Flacco in this one. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters at all. I think Richardson plays, Flacco plays. I think the Colts get this dub. The Jaguars are just... I mean, how could they feel good about where they're... They just paid their QB so much money, and he's been okay. And they just have a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems. I mean, at the very least, they have, Brian Thomas Jr. looking pretty good as a rookie, but ETN, he really hasn't been anything crazy so far this year. They got issues there. But hey, it's a divisional matchup. You never know with these. Wouldn't be surprised if they knock them off, but I gotta go Colts in this one. Finally, I'm going against the line. I feel like I guess the Falcons too. I picked the Bucks in that one, but I was picking with the line for a lot of these, but I'm surprised that the Jags are favored. It is a home game, but I got the Colts. I think they'll be just fine. I think they'll be alright. Next one, probably one of the games I'm most excited about because these are two solid teams, but the Texans and the Bills. Two pretty good teams so far this year. Bills got their first loss last week. Texans, I forget when they lost, but they've been good. They have been good. Let's see. Oh yeah, Texans lost to the Vikings, so I wouldn't even be mad about that. Bills did get knocked around by the Ravens, but Ravens looked really good in that one. So hopefully they'll probably bounce back, and that's why I will go with the Bills against the Texans. It is a home one for the Texans. The line is -1 for the Bills. I think the Texans will play pretty well, but Bills, they're a good squad. They're a good squad. And, hey, they got messed up last week. They're ready to bounce back because that's what these teams do. But Texans, they've been good both sides of the ball. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. This could go either way. I'm definitely worried about this one. But, with Josh Allen... even James Cook's playing pretty well. The defense has been good. Other than last week, they got stomped on. We'll see what the Texans can do, but they don't have Mixon. I don't even know who the running back's going to be for them. Maybe Mixon's back this week. I don't know. I guess he's questionable. Okay. Mixon's questionable, so they kind of need him back. I don't think Cam Akers, Dameon Pierce, I don't think they're going to carry the load too well, even though they've been decent in years past. But they definitely need Mixon if they're going to have a shot in this one. But yeah, I got the Bills getting that one for sure. Up next, gotta love these divisional matchups. Love them. First 4 o'clock game we have here, Raiders, Broncos. Yes, should be an interesting one. Both these teams are... Well, I'd say the Raiders don't know what they're doing at QB. The Broncos maybe have something. I must say, Bo Nix has looked a little bit better the last few weeks. Although not last week. Not last week. The week before he was better against the Buccaneers. But last week they won and he threw for 60 yards. So that's a little odd. I don't know. I don't know. But it is a home one for them. The line is -2.5 for the Broncos. And the Raiders, they're going to be without Devontae Adams. And he even requested a trade, so they got some weird stuff going on there. But I don't know. It's tough to say, but I'm going with the Broncos in that one. But I don't feel good about that one. That could go either way. Divisional matchups are always crazy. And up next... Another 4 o'clock game, Cardinals, Niners. Brock Purdy's been good. They had some injuries. They still don't have CMC, but Jordan Mason has filled in very nicely. Maybe CMC's not even that good. Mason can do it. No, maybe Mason's just good. Who knows? But yeah, they had all their guys back last week. And then, even Juwan Jennings, like they just have so many studs on that offense. Defense has been okay though. They have some issues, but it's early in the season. I think they'll work some things out, and I think the Cardinals they're a good test. I think the Cardinals are a decent team. I don't think they're a good team. I think they're decent. They're more mid, I guess. I don't know, but I don't think they're a bottom of the league type team looking for a draft pick. I think they're, I do think they're middle of the pack, but this will be a good test for the Niners. Should be a solid win. I mean, they hit the Pats last week. That was too easy. This is a little bit of a step up from that, but Cardinals are good. I mean, Kyler Murray's been solid. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, I think, 3 games in a row he's had a touchdown. So if they keep it up, I think maybe the defense is not quite there, but we'll see. They did give up a lot to the Red Hot Commanders, but yeah, who knows? Might be able to. Well, yeah, it's a home one for the Niners, and the line is -7, so I think that's pretty telling. But I do have to agree. I think the Niners should be able to get that one pretty easily. Up next, Rams-Packers. Yes, could be a good one. I don't know. It's in California. -3 to the Packers. The Rams, so many injuries. It's rough. The Packers, Jordan Love had the injury bug early, but only missed a couple games. Came back last week, threw 4 touchdowns, had 3 picks, and they actually almost came back in that one. Almost came back against the Vikings. I think that he'll be just fine this week, especially since the Rams defense, hasn't been anything crazy this year. I mean, Jacobs, I thought he would do a little more at this point. He's been okay. Jaden Reed has been pretty good. Dontayvion Wicks, he had 2 TDs last week, so offense looks pretty good. Defense is solid. I don't think they're going to have any trouble with the Rams. I mean, Kyron Williams is probably going to score at least a touchdown, but, I don't see them having any trouble with them at all, even with this being a home one for them. So I got the Packers in this one. Unfortunately, the Rams, just too many injuries. Too many injuries to the receivers. So the last 4 o'clock game, I guess there's 4 o'clock games. Okay, so that's good. But Giants versus the Seahawks. Giants have been putting up a better fight this year than I would have thought. They're still 1-3. They're still not very good, but that Cowboys game, they should have found a way to win that one. If they wanted to prove that they were a legit team, they should have won that one. But they did not. This one's in Seattle. Seahawks, I shouldn't have picked them last week against the Lions. That was a bad pick. But this week, line is for them, -6.5. This is a good week to pick them. Alright, this is a good week to pick them. The Giants, they just have some issues. I mean, Malik Neighbors looks incredible, but that's just not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough. Seahawks have, you could say 3 of their wins have been against not-so-great teams. Well, the Giants are one of those teams. They're one of those not-so-great teams. So I think they should be able to get this one. Maybe not easily, but I don't think they have any doubt going into that one at all. The Sunday night game, Cowboys versus the Steelers. That should be a pretty good one. It's in Pittsburgh. The line is -2.5 for the Steelers. I think I gotta agree. I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers in this one. I picked against the Cowboys last week. Maybe I'm making another mistake, but I think the Steelers should have won last week. I think Justin Fields had a rough first half. He's actually been decent. I don't think he'll play as badly as he did in that first half in the last game. So I think he'll go back to being solid. And then Steelers defense, they've been so good. So I think they'll just find a way to win and just, force the Cowboys into, I don't know what's going to happen in this one. This one, I don't think there's any way for me to feel good about a pick in this one, but I am going to go with the Steelers. Maybe just because it's at home, but I don't know. I got nothing. Sometimes I got nothing. I don't know what to say. So we're going Steelers in that one. But I could see that going either way. So that's a Sunday night game. That one should be good. This one on Monday could be interesting. It could be interesting. Saints versus the Chiefs. Could certainly be an interesting one. The Chiefs, you know, they've had some struggles. They've struggled, but they still win. They still win, and that's what makes them very scary. I guess the weird part is the fact that Mahomes injured Rashee Rice. I don't even know how long he's going to be out for. And the Saints have been, I mean, they were crazy good on offense the first 2 weeks. Last week, played pretty well against the Falcons. Had a chance to win, just couldn't do it. Took a last-second Falcons field goal to do it. But the offense has been there. They have the offense to hang with the Chiefs for sure. Maybe even outplay them. The defense has been alright, and the Chiefs' defense, they've been pretty good as well. It's a tough team to beat. They look really solid this year. Even with the Kelsey not doing much, and Pacheco's been injured. They're on their third back, but it is Kareem Hunt. So the Chiefs, I don't know how they do it. They always find a way. It's kind of like the Patriots. You know, they got Belichick and Brady. It doesn't matter if some other guys are out or whatever. You know, you got Reed and Mahomes. Sometimes that's enough, but even Mahomes, he hasn't been that good this year. He actually almost has the same amount of picks as TDs, 6 TDs, 5 picks. Like, you know, it's been interesting, but I think the Saints, you know, as good as they've been, they still probably don't use Olave enough. I think they gotta get the ball to him more, but Kamaro's been great. He's been crazy good. 5 TDs on the year. I think the Saints, I'm really hoping they put up a fight. I have hope for this to be a pretty good matchup, but we'll see. Maybe the Chiefs blow them out. Maybe the Saints blow them out. I don't know. I just, these good matchups, I just hope for good football. Sometimes, like, I'll be watching the game and I'm like, I don't even forget the pick. Like, I just want a decent game, but then I'll be mad when the team I picked lost, because then I gotta come on to these review videos and say, yes, the team I picked lost. I have no clue what I'm doing. I apologize. But that's it. Only one Monday game this week. We've been spoiled. We've had two weeks in a row of doubleheader Monday games. So back to just one, but hopefully just one good one. So that's going to be it. Let me know your picks this week. Let me know some hot takes. Let's hear what you got. But it should be a pretty exciting week 5 of football.